guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I am Janine Patrice and I make videos on locks and lifestyle, and today I'm going to talk about my personal pros and cons of having locks, so stay tuned. Alright, so should we start off with the good or the bad? I'm probably going to start off with my pros first because I have a lot more of those. It was actually hard for me to come up with cons, and I don't know why that is. If you have locks, let me know below in the comments if it's hard for you to come up with cons about your locks. Or if it's not, I don't know. Also, feel free to drop your pros and cons for your own self down below, because I'm interested to see those and if I agree or not. You guys might be thinking of some stuff that I haven't thought of or haven't experienced. So yeah, go ahead and do that and drop them below. So I'm gonna start off with the pros, because it's always good to start off with good things, I guess. My pro number one is that locks are low maintenance, at least to me. And I hate to bring like sex and gender into these, because I just feel like anybody could have had these experiences, but I'm just gonna speak from my point of view because I am a woman. But I know that a lot of people could have had experiences like me, even if they are not women, just to clarify. What I am going to say is that it's low maintenance in comparison to, I don't know, loose natural hair or permed hair or weaves or wigs or anything like that, although wigs are pretty low maintenance. But what I'm trying to get at is that basically, out of all the hairstyles that women tend to portray, locks are next to the lowest maintenance hairstyle. I'm assuming that the lowest maintenance hairstyle is probably just cutting all of your hair off, since there's not much you can really do there. I think locks are pretty low maintenance in comparison to having a short cut. And here's why. I would say so because, you know, with loose natural hair, you're always conditioning, shampoo. You probably have like a weekly routine where you do these things. And not to say that people with locks don't have routines. I feel like a lot of us do, and we probably should have more diligent routines. But I just remember with natural hair, I have friends that go through this. I went through this myself when I had loose natural hair, but I would pick like a Sunday or a Saturday, and basically the whole day was dedicated to doing my hair. So it would start up, sun up, you are washing and conditioning. Condition for 30 minutes to an hour. To dry while you do that. Then you have to like detangle, and detangling during the conditioning process or the deep conditioning process, right before your hair, twist your hair. It's a lot. It is so much work to keep up with natural hair, and I mean, some people might find it relaxing. Like, I'm sure, you know, taking care of yourself, it's a form of self-care. Taking care of your hair is a form of self-care. So if people enjoy it, cool, but it wasn't. It's why I'm here right now. I'm just gonna say that. But I didn't particularly enjoy that part of being a loose, natural girl. I felt like it was so much time. I spent so much time doing my hair, and it was kind of like, what could I have been doing if I didn't have to worry about getting my hair together? My wash days are cut almost in half, if not in thirds or fourths, because all I do is, you know, shampoo once a week. I then put in a leave-in conditioner. I might oil my scalp or put some oil throughout my locks, and that's basically it. And that's for like the no retwists, you know, weeks, because when I do retwist, which is only once a month, it doesn't even take me that long to do. But granted, my locks are on the thicker side. It's not like I have teeny tiny locks or a lot of smaller locks, so that might make a difference. But yeah, low maintenance is my first pro. I just feel like a lot less time is wasted on doing your hair, and you don't really have to maintain it that often for it to look good. So yeah, my first pro is that it is low maintenance. So let's move on to number two. All right, so the second pro that I have is your length shows fairly quickly. So black hair grows. I know that's one of the biggest misconceptions about, you know, afro textured hair in general, is that it don't grow. Like, I don't know who told you that. But just because you're permed and grow past a certain point doesn't mean your hair don't grow. It just means that you had chemicals. I'm just playing. No shade to anyone who is relaxed. I really don't care how people do their hair. I just know personally it's just not my thing. Your length shows fairly quickly with locks. This time last year, my hair was not this long. And so I just am amazed by how much growth I've had. And it's been 2 years since I've had locks. And that 2 years flew, by the way. 2 years is not a long time if you think about it in the grand scheme of things. So 2018, I was looking like this, and now it's looking like this. You know, I was just showing my parents my most viewed video, which is that awkward locks poem, if you will. And my hair looked like this, and now it's this. Like, it's grown tremendously. And I feel like in the years that I've had my loose natural hair, it was kind of hard to see the length unless, of course, when you straighten it, you see it more, but you can see it when it's longer natural too. But sometimes it was like, is my hair growing? I don't know about y'all, but whenever I was a loose natural, maybe you guys are currently loose naturals, you can let me know in the comments below, but there would be times where it's like my hair wasn't growing or it was like not growing past a certain point. And a lot of that has to do with like you're manipulating your hair more. You have to make sure you get trimmed regularly, that your ends look good, that you are, that you have healthy hair. In addition to having length retention, I feel like that's very hard to accomplish as a loose natural. Not impossible, just a little more difficult to accomplish. But with locks, if you are looking to grow longer locks, it doesn't take that long. It doesn't take long to show the length because, when you retwist and you maintain it really well and, your hair is just forming and locking and, it grows down because that's just how locks do. I feel like you can see your length a lot faster than you would if you were, 2 years natural. Unless, of course, you're starting from the basics and you like cut all your hair off and then you see 2 years of length, of course. But if you've been natural for like a long time, like a decade or, longer, your whole life, sometimes like that length is hard to show through, at least in my experience. But I know a lot of people who have retained length, but in locks, a big pro is that you will retain the length and you will see the length all the time. This is proof right here. This is proof, y'all. All right, number 3. You have style variety with your locks, and your locks also can adapt to any environment. I don't care what anybody says about locks are unprofessional, locks are only for hippies, only for laid back people who are spiritual. That is crap. Locks are for anywhere. I almost said anybody. I won't get into that. But anyway, I feel like locks fit into any environment. They truly do, if you think about it. And style variety. So what I mean by style variety is that I can wear my hair like this, over to the side, this side, it don't matter. I can also have like a sleek back ponytail, I can slick down my edges if I wish. I can add hair clips, headbands, head scarves. You can get your hair professionally styled into like cool designs. You can do updos, you can do a low do, half up, half down. You have style variety. So when people are afraid to start their lock journey because of the commitment to having locks and the feeling of permanence, if you want to say permanence, I feel like it's kind of like, you can still do a lot though. Honestly, having locks is just like having like braids, like box braids, or even if you have your hair straight. I feel like I can do a lot of styles that people with straight hair do. It's just that like, my hair might be a little thicker and it might be achieved in a different way, but it doesn't mean that I can't pull off that style. So I'm just here to say that locks have style variety. That's a huge pro for me because I'm somebody who likes to experiment and, do different things with their hair every now and then. And I don't feel stuck having locks and doing that. I feel like I can achieve a lot of hairstyles with my locks. And also in going into this category, I wanted to say that locks adapt to any environment. And I truly believe that. I think it is complete, crap if somebody's like, your hair doesn't fit into corporate America. Your hair doesn't fit into an elegant gala or gala, or I don't even know how they pronounce that. I don't go to galas. An elegant ball or, a fancy occasion. Like, locks are elevated. Locks can be elevated to be elegant. Locks are elegant. Locks are laid back. Like, you can do a lot. Like, I can pull up my hair have a ponytail and just have it like this. I feel like that's like a laid back look. Or I can easily like braid it in the front and have it, you know, swoop down. If my locks were long enough, I could have it swoop down in the front, pull it back. Oh my God, I can have it swoop down in the front, pull it back, slick my edges if I wish. I haven't really done that in a while. I don't really do that often. But you can have a sleek ponytail. You can have like a low do. You can make your locks look fancy. You can make them look fancy. You can make them look chill. You can make them look relaxed. It fits in any environment. That's a huge pro, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because that's just not true. And you know, if people truly believe that, and I know there's a lot of, you know, I'm not naive. I know that there's societal norms and standards, but we have to start somewhere, and we got to start breaking those, because people come in all sorts of different forms, and we need to start accepting those forms. So if somebody wants to wear locks and they want to also work and be the CEO of some company, they should be able to do that. That's all I'm saying. So that was the pro number 3, style variety and adapting to any environment. Number 4. Pro number 4 is that less money has been spent on hair in general for me. But I do know a lot of loc people who don't really go to locticians anymore. I haven't been to my loctician in almost a year. It'll be a year in November, because I got my hair done to go to Thailand last fall, and I got my hair retwisted for that and put into a style just to like maintain it and make it easier for me. But my loc appointments didn't really cost that much. I know that's a different case all over you know, the United States. I feel like different salons charge different whatever to start locks, to maintain locks. Like some people are paying hundreds of dollars for that, which is fine. Like I'm not knocking it at all, because I do know that like the first entire year of my loc journey, especially like the first 6 months, I was heavily reliant on going to a loctician to do my hair and retwists, because I felt like I couldn't do it on my own. But as soon as I took the time to like really learn about it, learn about my hair, learn about the products that work best, the products and the methods that work best for my locks, I feel a lot more comfortable actually retwisting my hair on my own and being able to do that and have it look nice, neat, presentable, whatever you want to say it. So I spend a lot less money at the loctician, and I also spend a lot less money on hair in general as far as product goes. I don't really run through products that often for my hair, because my hair doesn't really require a lot all the time. Whereas when I was a loose natural or a relax, I felt like I had to have products all the time to maintain my hair all the time. And I feel like you can kind of skate away with that a little bit with locks. Like you don't have to be super regimented, like where you have to do these things all the time, weekly, daily, whatever. You can skate by, not saying you should, but you can. And nothing that detrimental will happen to your locks if you like miss a week or 2 of washing your hair. But I just know that with loose natural, you're also more inclined to buy products to achieve a result. So if something comes out and it's like, this is supposed to be the best twist out, wash and go, you know, whatever product for your hair, we're a lot more willing to spend it when we are a loose natural than locks. And I also feel like that there's not that many products that are marketed to our market in general. And also we're not really trying to achieve anything except for maybe a buildup free retwist at home. You know, we can use anything. We don't even have to do much to do a twist out or a braid out. It's not like we need a special product or anything. We just need to twist our locks while it's damp and sit under the dryer and then wait a few days and then, you know, unravel, you know, beautiful wavy locks. So a lot less money is spent on your hair in general, in my opinion, from my experience being locked. And it just makes me much more minimal in the hair department. Because I remember I used to have like a whole bathroom cabinet full of products that most of them I probably didn't even use. A lot of them I had to give away when I started my loc journey, because I was like, I'm not using these anymore and I don't need them, bye. And it was a load that was lifted off. But yeah, you guys should check out my old video I made last summer about how locks make me more minimal, because I talk a lot about that in that video. All right, so the fifth and final pro that I have for now for locks, I'm not a product junkie anymore. I have my staple products that I love to use. Dr. Locs, shout out to y'all. I haven't found anything else, and I have tried other products and those products failed me. So Dr. Locs has been a good investment to my locks. I feel like my locks are very healthy using those products. I also like the moisture it gives me, and I also like how the retwist lasts with the locking spray, and I could just go on and on about that brand. Let me stop. But anyway, I'm not a product junkie anymore. I buy the Dr. Locs line and that's pretty much it. Sometimes I get other oils to make other mixtures, like the aloe vera oil mixture spray that I made to moisturize my locks with. Sometimes I'll have stuff for that, but my product basket is like this big. It's like this, and it fits everything that I need, and that's it. So I'm not a product junkie anymore, and I don't miss it, and I just don't miss like having to test out certain products and possibly spending so much money on something that fails. It's not worth it, in my opinion. All right, so let's get on to the cons. So I could only come up with 3 cons for having locks, and I'm still trying to think of more and I just can't. But let me know in the comments below, for real, y'all. What are some cons for you as far as having locks go that you found that to be kind of difficult during your journey? I would love to know. And it might be something I haven't thought of that I'm like, yeah, you're right. But I'm coming from a perspective of the cons of having locks right now in the stage that I'm in. I'm 2 months. I'm 2 years locked. I feel like I had a lot more cons at the beginning of my journey, I will say that. And the reason why I say that is because my locks were still forming and things were going on, changes were happening that I wasn't really into, unraveling, making sure that like I couldn't style my hair. I don't know, it's like a whole bunch of stuff you have to like kind of tiptoe around at the beginning. But now that I'm like settled into my lock journey, I only have like 3 big cons. So here we go. The first con I have is that lint is an issue. Especially on these back locks. These back locks back here be struggling because they rub against your clothes more and they're just more exposed to those kind of fabrics than the rest of your hair. And that's the only reason why. I've never had lint as a problem on any of my other locks. I know some people are like, well, it's a good measure in any regard if you're like deep cleaning your house or dealing with anything that's like dusty or just like, I don't know, particles flying in the air. It's always good to have your hair wrapped up in a scarf while you do those things or while you're in those kind of environments. I'm not really in environments like that where stuff like that is like clinging to my hair, so I didn't really have a problem with that. But it just depends on what your job is, where you're at, what kind of environment you're in, if that's an issue. But the lint has been an issue on my back row of locks, and I do detoxes probably twice a year now is my goal, to do a detox twice a year. I did my first one back in the spring, and you can check out this video up here. But the lint was an issue in the back, and it kind of gets me down sometimes, y'all. It's just like, it don't look great. I know nobody can see it, but it bothers me because I know it's there. Anyway, that's con number 1. Con number 2 is stereotypes about locks. It gets on my nerves. It also gets on my nerves about stereotypes about Black people with natural hair in general. This is the hair that we have. This is the hair that God blessed us with. We don't have, it doesn't have to fit a mold. So I hate when people put Black people with natural hair into a box, basically. So it's like if you have loose natural hair and you like to wear your fro out, your hair out, your hair as is, that's what it is. It is what it is. I hate when people are like, you real Afrocentric and go ahead, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what if you're not like that at all? Like, no shade against them, because I love me some Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. Like, I love them so much. But it's just like, why are you saying that somebody's Afrocentric just because they have an afro? You should just address them as a person first, instead of assuming that they sing neo soul. They might not even like neo soul. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I hate stereotypes that surround locks too. Like, you smoke weed, or I don't know, you're a Rastafarian, and I don't know, all the stuff that goes along with like the stereotypes like that people just assume about you. Or sometimes people assume that people with locks don't wash their hair and that they're dirty, or you know, stupid stuff like that. So it's just like, I hate stereotypes about what's surrounding that. Nobody should be stereotyping anybody by their hair, period, because it's just like, somebody with a perm and wears weave all the time could really be into neo soul, and somebody who has locks and afros or whatever could be into heavy metal. I don't know. You just never know. Black people come in so many different varieties. We shouldn't have to be subjected into such a small bubble of things when it's like it might not even be that way. So I don't know. The stereotypes surrounding locks are kind of dead to me. I don't really like it. It's a con to me on my part, but it's just like, it doesn't really affect me at the same time, because nobody's ever approached me in that kind of way. I feel like I got approached more as like a loose natural, as far as like the you look neo soul and blah blah blah. And it's not like it's like a horrible, that's not even like a deplorable comment to make. It's just that I don't like when people make assumptions about people based off of the way they look, because that might not even be the case. So just don't comment. The third con that I have is smells linger in locks longer. I mean, smells can linger in hair in general, but sometimes I feel like because our hair is compacted, it lingers even more, because I don't know, we just don't have access to every single hair all the time. But I just know that whenever my boyfriend smokes like fish or meat or anything like that, and he's out there in the smoker and the smoke getting all on him, his locks be smelling like smoke. So it's just like, I just know that like, if you like to smoke your food or something outside and you're in the smoker a lot, your locks might smell like smoke. Or if you're just a smoker in general, your locks might smell like smoke. I'm not sure if that's a thing that people would like or not, but I personally wouldn't like it. So yeah, I just feel like if you're in an environment, even in a high pollution city, it seems as though like the smell would linger longer in your hair. So that's kind of just something you have to be mindful of, making sure that your locks are fresh and give off a pleasant aroma. Going back to Dr. Loc's products, that's another thing that I like about them, is that their products are so fragrant with lemongrass, which is one of my favorite essential oils. It's like, I just love the smell of lemon stuff in general. It's just fresh and it makes me feel light. But anyway, their shampoos are like that scent, and so is their leave-in conditioner. And so whenever I do clean my hair with those products, their shampoo smells like lemongrass, and so is their leave-in. So whenever I use those products on my locks, it instantly smells so fresh, and it actually does linger longer. So it's kind of like a pro-con. If you want your lock smells to smell good and longer, it will probably, but also you have to be mindful that like things can like attach to a hair so easily, and I feel like with locks they just linger longer. I could be wrong, but that's just my observation. Okay, so yeah, that's all the pros and cons that I have about locks during this time in my loc journey. Don't forget to comment below what your pros and cons for having locks are, or if you're not locked yet, tell me about some of the fears you have about starting locks, or some of the excitements that you have about starting locks too, and kind of see if it fits into these pros and cons categories. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Comment below. Don't forget to like this video, and also hit that subscribe button and look out for my future content. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.